Hi, today I will be presenting a technical description of the S&P 500, or the Stanley & Poor's 500 Index. The Stanley & Poor's 500 Index is a market capitalization weighted index of the 500 largest U.S. publicly traded companies. Stanley & Poor is a company that both created and maintains this index. Now there are two main parts to the definition itself that must be understood in order to make it clear. First, we see that the S&P 500 is market cap weighted. But what is market cap? It is the total value of all shares outstanding, whether those shares are held by the company, firms, or private investors. Thus, the equation below shows how to calculate the market cap of an individual company. Now that we know what market cap is, we can discover what it means for the S&P 500 to be market cap weighted. Simply enough, the companies with the larger market caps are weighted with greater significance when calculating the value of the S&P 500. This graph gives a visual of all the companies in the index. You can see here that companies like Amazon and Facebook would be weighted more than smaller companies like AutoZone or Campbell Soup. Now we can look at what it means for a company to be publicly traded. A publicly traded company is one that sells its shares on a public stock exchange. The companies shown here, many of which you may recognize, are all companies whose stock could be traded by people like us. So why do we use the S&P 500? Well, it represents the stock market's performance by reporting the risks and returns of the biggest companies. Investors use it as a benchmark of the overall market, to which all other investments are compared. So if we as a firm are doing better than the S&P 500, we say we have a positive alpha, and that's a very good thing. Though this is one of the most popular indexes, it is not the only one. You may recognize the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is another index that only looks at 30 companies and weights its significance by the individual stock price. So why do we choose the S&P 500 as a benchmark? Well, it represents 80% of the total stock market, focuses mainly on U.S. companies while containing some international, and represents a wide variety of market sectors. So there you have it. That's the S&P 500, and now you hopefully understand a bit more about why it is so commonly referred to.